So this Providence 48 was the first one I ever did. I spent a lot of time looking at YouTube videos and researching, trying to figure out what to expect and what I needed. And that's definitely helpful, but in the end, you really need to experience it. Experience the rush of writing a script in a couple of hours, no time for writer's block, just getting it out there, getting a little bit of sleep, cleaning up the script, and then getting everyone on set for Saturday. For this project, I put together a team of 16 people. Almost all of us were complete strangers. But really it worked out well. I spent a lot of time interviewing and looking through cast and crew. I think that's one of the most important places to put your time as a producer and as a director. If you can bring in a good cast and crew, everything else sort of falls into place for you. And I think it did here. I'm really happy with the end product. We certainly could have made something better if we had more time, but this is really the whole point, just to see what you can do in the 48 hours and just finish it off. So for this initial scene, we did script a lot of this, but our lead superhero, Avi, also improv'd a bunch of it. We just put 2 cameras on him and just let him go, really until we were happy and said we've got enough that we'll be able to cut this together. In the original script, we had this idea to put up this legal disclaimer. We thought it would be kind of funny. And our music composer took it on himself to add in the voiceover, speed it up so it was really high-pitched. That played well, got a nice laugh in front of the audience of about 200 when we premiered. So this is the Sunrise Cafe in Brockton, Mass. They were nice enough to let us come in and shoot first thing in the morning before they were actually open. We wanted to establish early on who our villain was, so we tried to think of the ways that we could make him sound like the biggest jerk possible. Just totally disrespectful to the serving staff, rude, no care about anybody else. So that was really what we were aiming for here. And also a little verbal confirmation that he has powers too. So we're trying to set up a world in a 7-minute film, which is not the easiest thing to do.
What was that? Nothing, sir. I didn't think so.
Our actress Mary played this whole scene good and drunk. Looking back, one of the few things I would have liked to change is to add a few more glasses onto the table to make it look like she had already been going for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 glasses of wine. But that's okay. These are the small things you miss when you're trying to rush through a shoot, trying to plan and coordinate everybody on short notice without any time to do pre-prod really, pre-viz, just show up and find angles and start shooting. So for this scene, like some of our other ones, we set up 2 cameras, let them run together, one on Mary, one on Gary, and just intercut between them depending on what we felt like the moment needed. Shooting this way gave us perfect continuity, and it also sped up the shoot itself because we didn't have to shoot this from both sides, take twice as long. We just put the cameras on, let them roll, and did a bunch of takes without cutting. From a speed perspective, that's absolutely the way to do this. Now, from an editing perspective, it makes for really big files. It's a lot of footage to go through. But if the idea is to be through production as quickly as possible, then this is the way to shoot. With multiple cameras, multiple angles all at once, do a bunch of takes and then line them up.
Madam, I am merely trying to have a polite conversation.
Same kind of motivation here. We needed to set up quickly that he was evil, that he had power. So we needed him to do something a little bit over the top, and in this kind of film, I feel like we could get away with this, really just killing someone right in the center of a restaurant. So when we get here with our serving staff, this scene was actually totally unscripted. There was a line that we put in italics that said, basically, they argue over who has to stay with the villain. While we were setting up some of the other scenes, I set Anna and Sam aside and said, ad lib, come up with something, some kind of an argument. Let's end with rock, paper, scissors, and Anna wins. And this is what they came up with. I thought they did a really great job. This got some good laughs in front of the live audience as well.
I'll go get him.
What?
Yeah.
I'll go get him. What?
No, it's my turn. I had to stay with the bad guy last time.
You're going to be like that? All right, let's do
Yeah.
rock, paper, scissors then.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha.
Can we do one more?
Nope.
What? Are you serious?
My turn.
You're lucky I'm a feminist. I'm even letting you have the choice to do this.
My turn.
Why?
So here we are back at our hero's house. I wanted to do this kind of classic gag where he swings open the door all ready for a fight, and then it's the tiny little person compared to him. This was actually a harder shot than I thought it would be. Getting that angle right, we had to get the camera way up on the stairs and shoot long so that it was narrow enough to not see Anna's head when we first came in. But it was good, and it was worth it. I liked that shot. Kind of a classic.
You advertise your address in every single one of your videos.
Right, for villains.
Well,
I'm not sure what it was here. When he says, for villains, I laughed and laughed, and my editor did. That landed really well. That joke worked.
It's the justice.
So this is our big fight scene. We wanted to keep the comedy element going, so we said, oh, what if he shows up for a fight, but the door's locked? So now the bad guy can't come in. Our hero, he can't open it either. Gives our bad guy another chance to force the door open with his powers. Creating this scene really amazed me, because to play it with no sound, it works a little, but not great. But when you add the music and the sound effects, what a difference the sound design makes to help sell the fall, the lift, the teleportation. One of the best moments watching this live in front of the 200 or so people was to hear them cheer when the bad guy got punched. That shows me audience engagement. That's what we wanted. Part of the process of a 48 like this is really just figuring out what works and what doesn't, and then getting to see it in front of a live audience and listen to how they react. Where do they laugh or gasp? Where are they engaged? And where are they not? Because it can be hard to tell as the filmmaker. You're so close to it. And then here was our twist.
all right, freeloaders.
Which is this was a superhero and social media influencer film. So this whole thing was really set up here by Anna and Sam, setting up superhero fights, looking for views, pretty classic influencer kind of stuff. As far as the edit goes, we had this great plan that we were going to send the footage to our editor as we were shooting, so he could spend all day Saturday creating a rough cut. And then Saturday night, it would be there, I could take a look at it, and we'd go on from there, finish it up, clean it up on Sunday. We had some technical difficulties because the files were much bigger than we expected, so they wouldn't upload fast enough or download fast enough to our editor. So about 10:30 on Saturday night, after shooting for roughly 10 hours, I got a call that he didn't have the files. Since we're talking in movies, this was the all is lost moment. This was when I was totally dejected, despite all the work that had gone in this weekend and all the prep work ahead of time, finding locations, cast, crew. We weren't going to make it on time. This comes back to choose the right people, choose good people who are dedicated and talented and want to make a difference. The editor drove all the way out to my house, put the files on a hard drive, went back to his place. I went to sleep after my 2 hours the previous night before. And in the morning when I got up, there was a rough cut waiting for me. So I drove out then to the editor Sunday. We spent the entire day cutting. No breaks, no lunch, no anything really. We just edited. And by that mostly I mean he edited while I gave notes. Took care of paperwork, things like that. Not the glamorous side of filmmaking. At the same time, we were working with a composer for new music who did a wonderful job. By the time we got the cut to him that he could work against, we were really up against the time. 5:30 maybe, with an hour and a half to go. If what our composer sent over was not good, we were dead. There was no time to fix it, and thankfully he absolutely blew it away. Came through, put in great tracks that added so much to the emotion of the film. He added sound effects for us. He added the vocal for the legal disclosure. Just really great stuff, and made such an impact on the film. We uploaded the film just before the 7 o'clock deadline. Breathed a big sigh of relief. It was a very intense weekend. As far as things I learned, a lot of things went smooth. The writing was as quick as I could have hoped for, and I was happy with the story we came out with. I think some of these 48s, the stories don't make a whole lot of sense, and I think this one does. The biggest issue was around the file size and not getting all the footage to our editor on time. In hindsight, I would just ask our editor to come on set with us, so as we finish, he could copy straight to his laptop, find a back room somewhere, and just start working. And that way we know it's all set. As far as things I gained out of this, though, really it's the connections. 16 people who I didn't know, and now I do, and would absolutely work with any one of them again. The cast and crew was so dedicated, I was just blown away by it. So I guess long story short, if you're looking to get a film made, this is definitely a good way to do it. The short timeline is intense and exhausting, but it forces your hand, and in a weekend, you come out with a film one way or another. I guess that's about it. If you have questions or comments, drop them below, and I'll do what I can to answer.